Yo, what's going on? All my LARPers, my liftas, all my fat girls that are really protective of their friends. What's up with that, man? Why are fat chicks always like, she's not interested, bro, type of deal? I've never experienced that, but I don't know. I don't even know why I'm talking about that. Anyway, guys, it's another video where sorry about that. Just checking a notification. Anyway, enough with the terrible intro. Hope y'all are doing well. It's another video where I'm just sitting talking to you guys here. It's been a while since I've had one of these, so forgive me if my my skills and speaking in front of the camera have degraded slightly. That's just due to the fact that I have been so removed from this type of format of content, which I like doing these type of videos, man. So if you guys have any other subjects you'd like me to potentially touch on, leave it in the comments below. I may or may not do it, but yeah, it's so beautiful outside, man. I love sunsets. But anyway, enough of beating around the bush. It's already been a minute and you guys learned nothing. We're going to be talking today about the long-awaited recovery video. I've been teasing it for like 2 weeks now. I've just been super busy with school. I'm sick again, too. I've gotten sick twice in 4 weeks, bro. And every time it lasts about a week. It's just, I don't know what the fuck. I must have like HIV or something because I'm getting sick a lot. I think it's just a lot of things. Training a couple times a day, lack of sleep, stress with school, working. It's hard, man, but you know, these are the times where you gotta fight through it in your life. So yeah, again, I don't know, I just like talking like that. But yeah, anyway, we're talking about recovery, guys. What the common misconceptions with recovery, and this is all my personal opinion, so let me preface this video by saying if you have a serious injury or you are seeking a true professional's statement on, you know, recovery when it comes to training or injuries, go talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I don't even study anything medically related. I don't know what medicine is. Okay, I don't know anything about that. So don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. Don't even think about me. Just freaking go to the doctor. Okay, ask him to get a prescription for some kind of like prednisone or something. Take that shit. Let your tissue degrade. It's good. It's good for you. Okay, anyway, I'm going to be talking about my experience with recovery, what I think the common misconceptions are, how I do my recovery days, and maybe you guys will find something worth, you know, pulling out and taking into your practice in this video. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. So go ahead and comment down below. How many times do you guys take a recovery day a week? How many times do you train? Do you guys have any injuries right now? What do you do on these recovery days? Do you just sit there and do nothing? Do you go for a walk? Do you walk the dog? Like, what do you do, man? Just let me know in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, guys. So, first of all, you guys might have been able to tell from the intro, I am not a fan of the whole rest, ice, compression, elevation when it comes to having tissue that is either sore or slightly aching or overall just like in pain, you know what I mean? So if I have like a little bit of knee pain or I have some shoulder pain, I don't like to immobilize the joint for too long. I like to get it moving under very, very light load as quickly as possible. So the reason why I don't like rice is because at one point had a bad knee. I don't remember what it was from, to be honest with you. I've had 2 occasions of bad knees. The most recent one was due to it getting kicked a lot in a fight, and it just kept getting kicked. And I don't know why the ref didn't call it, because kicking in the knee isn't allowed in kickboxing, but whatever. I still actually won that match, by the way. But yeah, so I got kicked in the knee a bunch, and then the time before that, it was just I think it was overuse. I was training like 3 times a day. It was summer. I was having a good time, so yeah, I just had a bad knee. I wore a brace and rested it, and it didn't recover for a really long time until I just started kind of moving around again and not being an idiot and, you know, squatting super heavy, but at the same time not like treating myself like I was a paraplegic, if that makes sense. So the reason why I am saying this is because I personally do not like the whole rice. I think it's outdated. I think this information will, within the next decade or 2 decades or so, be replaced with new information. And I think that the future is going to be something in regards to blood flow and tissue recovery. So let me explain something to you guys. So let's take, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. Let's take tendons in the body, they connect muscle to muscle, right? And tendons primarily are avascular tissue. That's just a gigabrain term for saying, basically these tissues do not get a large supply of blood flow unless you actively go and pump blood into the tendon. And you can do that through numerous different ways. But so let's say you have an injured tendon, right? So tendons are kind of like spindle fibers type of thing, like they all spindle in and intertwine and connect. So if you connect the tendons and it's getting hurt a little bit, right? And it comes undone a bit. If you just ice that and you elevate it and you compress it, all that does is it negates any blood flow from the tissue. And with that lack of blood flow, you're not getting any nutrients from the blood. You're not getting that right there. You're not getting any nutrients from the blood. And what that does is the tissue just stays kind of, it keeps being rather, just like it stays injured basically. And the pain goes away eventually. You're like, okay, I can move again. And then that's how these reoccurring injuries keep happening, right? So when you have a injured tissue and you completely neglect it, right? And you just ice it and compress it and elevate and do all the things that gets blood flow out of that area, overall, that might help short term. It might help the pain subside, right? But is it going to heal the injury? No, it's just going to come back later down the line. Now, why am I talking about injuries when it comes to recovery? Because we can use the same type of logic when it comes to recovery. I find a lot of individuals that I speak to, when we talk about recovery, their idea of recovery is, playing video games for 8 hours, sitting in the same position all day, or laying on the couch, or just overall being a lazy slob. Like, let's keep it real, man. And it involves just not moving, right? And in my personal experience, again, it's just my personal experience, I have found that whenever I have a day in the past where I've been told to recover, so just to lay down and do nothing, the next day, oh my gosh, dude, you feel so stiff. You feel like you can't move. You feel terrible. It's just overall a really, really bad way to start your week of training. Let's say if you train 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, you rest Sunday, right? If you're laying around doing nothing on that Sunday, and then you try to actually go jump straight back into whatever program you have, and you try to do like heavy fucking bench press the next day, or heavy squats, God forbid, you're gonna feel like absolute dog shit, because that whole day prior, you didn't really promote any recovery. You kind of just paused it, if that makes sense. Think of it like if you were to move and get some blood into your tissues and get blood flow and just move. I'm not saying go outside and do hill sprints. I'm saying just move around a little bit, you would progress that recovery and you'd heal more, and then you'd sleep. When you sleep, that's your 8 hours of doing nothing. That's your 8 hours of being in one position where your recovery is heightened, right? But in the time that you're awake, you want to be moving. So basically what I'm trying to say is circulation is going to promote the health of the tendons. It's going to flush out toxins in your body, all that lactic acid. It's going to help if you get sore. I don't get sore, but if you do get sore, it's going to help kind of get rid of that, right? So with all this being said, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a simple, super simple, it's not even really a recovery blueprint. I don't even know why I put blueprint. It's pretty poorly put together. But I'm just going to give you guys examples of activities that you can do. Some that I wouldn't recommend doing together, like only do one from this category, and then some that you can kind of do like pretty much whenever you want to do on your recovery day. So let's say you have intense training 5 days a week. You lift heavy weights, something simple like that, or you play a sport 5 days a week. And on your 6th day, maybe you do something a little bit less intense, maybe some conditioning, something like that. And then the 7th day, you have your recovery day, but your recovery day is just laying down. Well, I'm going to tell you, try potentially doing some of these things that I'm about to list here, and then we can see if moving forward that actually helps you with your recovery. So these are going to be one of the things that I say to do one of. So any of these next things that I list from this category, I'm going to say only do one of these. I wouldn't recommend doing 2 or 3 or stacking any of them, just because it's going to be a bit much. Like, you don't want to go crazy, right? The key here is really to keep your heart rate relatively low. You don't want to be going crazy or anything like that, so try to keep that heart rate down. I don't know what, like, I guess under, I don't know, man. I don't know anything about heart rate, really. Keep it under 120. Think above 120 is classified as tachycardia. Where's that blood pressure? Fuck, dude, I don't even know. Anyway, do one of these activities. You can go for a light jog. You can swim. You can bike. You can push the sled. You can do anything sports technique related. So let's say you're a fighter. You can practice some shadow boxing moves. Woo, 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 woo. You know, or you're a weightlifter. You can, I don't know, work on some PVC drills or some shit, or work with really lightweight. You know what I mean? Or, I don't know, practice your double step back fakie in the paint. I don't know anything about basketball, as you can tell. Or you could do something like hiking, you know, hiking hills and stuff like that. That's a great one. That's one of my favorite because it acts as a mental recovery. You know, you're in nature. You could be with friends. It could be a social activity as well because, you know, you don't want to be one of those lifters that just is a lifter. You have no social life. You want to be able to talk to people. Life is beautiful being with the people that you love. You know what I mean? So grab your parents, grab your girlfriend, grab your boyfriend, grab your dog, dude. Go for a hike. Go for a run. Go for a swim. Go for a bike ride. Push the sled in the gym with your boys, dude. Work on your technique with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your dog. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So do one of those things. Again, low intensity. If you're going for the jog, you're not running fast. If you're biking, you're cruising, you know. Try to enjoy yourself, man. Learn to just not be intense on these days and just enjoy things, okay? And then any of these things, you can pretty much do as much as you want. I do like some of these like 3 times a day. Like, for instance, stretching on my recovery day, dude. I stretch whenever I feel like it. Like if I feel like, ooh, I feel a little stiff here, I'm going to just sit on the ground and pop a straddle or something like that. So yeah, yoga / stretching, something like that. I have sauna here, but actually I would recommend only doing sauna once just because you don't want to overdo the sauna because it's not really what it's used. You're not meant to be in a sauna like for more than, I would say, like 20 minutes unless you're really drinking like a lot of water and consuming a lot of electrolytes, but I still think it's diminishing returns. So put the sauna up or if you do the sauna, do it once, right? You can also do some mobility drills if you'd like, you know, do some hip 90-90s, do some ATG split squats, do some Jefferson curls. Again, super lightweight, focus on your stretching, just breathe, enjoy it, man, just relax. And yeah, so again, for the things that you only want to do one of, you could do a light jog, a swim, bike, sled, anything sports technique related, a hike, and then you can stretch as much as you want, hit the sauna maybe, do some mobility. So basically the theme of this video is just overall getting more blood into the tissues, and you're going to feel better the next day. If you guys like this video, give this thing that I presented to you a try on your next day where you have some recovery time. You know, just again, try to get that blood flowing, try to feel a little bit better. Let me know what you guys think of this whole dilemma. Do you prefer rice, dude? Do you just prefer like laying on the couch, man? Do you feel great after a day of just doing nothing, and on Monday you're able to lift heavy weights? I'm not joking, I'm serious, man. So yeah, if you guys like this video, like the video, okay? Subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my other content. I think I'm gonna have a different type of video this weekend for the road to a bigger squat because something is going on this week that I want to discuss. And yeah, hope you all have a great week. Take it easy, keep training.